90-Day Fiancé, Gino and Jasmine version, season 9, episode 4. A boy's best friend is his mother. Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my listening reviews. All in all, who have been here through the long. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie Televised. It's time for Auntie Televised. It's time for Auntie Televised. So let's get into it. In this particular video, we are going to be discussing Jasmine and Gino on season 9, episode 4, 90-Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. I have split these videos up because on some of these people, I have actually gone back and done some research on some of the things that we are seeing out here in these streets. In this particular episode, we saw the aftermath of last week where Gino had Jasmine meet him in their favorite park in order to have a discussion. Jasmine went to the park with the hopes that she and Gino were going to be reunited, while Gino went with the hopes of being reunited with Natalie, who is a woman we saw him meet. I think it was in episode 1 and 2 in Vegas. He had a great time with Natalie, and Natalie basically gave him an ultimatum that he needed to end the relationship with Jasmine before the two of them. Okay, so we know that's where we are. Last week we watched the episode and there were mixed views from a lot of 90-Day Fiancé fans about whether or not Gino should or should not have left Jasmine out on the street. I was one of those people who felt like Gino should not have done it the way that he did it. I thought that there was a better way of, disposing of Jasmine's and her things. And so in this episode, we see Matt. We see Jasmine texts Matt and says that, it's over. He left. I'm out here on the street. I'm abandoned. I'm sitting on top of my clothing and pacifying a coffee maker, if you will. And so Matt is, of course, on the way to pick up Jasmine. And Gino has left. Now, Gino indicates that he has documentation that Jasmine was already in this relationship with Matt. They are going back and saying that Gino is going back and saying that on December the 20th, okay, or somewhere around in December, Jasmine was in a relationship with Matt. Now, Jasmine indicated that in this relationship, it was a take me to the gym. He works at the gym facility. He's a workout buddy. The two of them were already trying to work on this relationship, as we all know, through the boot camp. And so, Gino is saying that, he felt like Jasmine tricked him. Gino is saying that Jasmine tricked him into being in this relationship, that Jasmine brought this relationship up to him, right? Because she wanted to cover her tracks that she was already in a relationship with Matt. And so she tricked him. Somehow Jasmine had the influence on Gino to trick him into doing this. This is not Gino by Gino's choice. This is not a responsibility that Gino needs to, So I did not watch a boot camp. I thought it was stupid. I thought that, it was heavily produced. I felt like a lot of the couples had already figured out what they were going to do before they even got there. We had Rob and Sophie, Florian, and Darcy's sister. I can't even think of her name. But anyway, we had a number, Julia, and her man was there. So it was, a couple they all were there. So I wanted to go back and figure out what had happened with this, how Gino made this decision to be with Jasmine. And so Jasmine is very hurt by Gino. She thinks that, Gino should have given her a chance and all of that kind of stuff. She didn't think that the relationship was down to this. She said it's one thing for Gino to say that he wants to divorce her, but it's another thing for Gino to do it based on false pretense, or i.e. on a lie. Y'all let me know downtown in the comment section what y'all think. But I wanted to go back on some of the things that happened during the boot camp to see just where Gino was with this. So I did a little bit of research, okay? So here's where we are with this. The conversation between Jasmine and Gino about starting an open relationship took place during season 10 of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. It caused a lot of tension between the couple. Here's a breakdown. The conversation, okay, so Jasmine brought up the idea of an open relationship after frequent fights about their lack of intimacy. She expressed feeling neglected, lonely, and sexually unfulfilled, pointing out that Gino wasn't meeting her emotional and physical needs. Now, we know that Gino has solidified, has confirmed that he was no longer sleeping with Jasmine. He said that he was turned off by her based on all the arguing and all that kind of stuff. He just could not get it up and get it in. He just couldn't do it. So, in order to pacify Jasmine, this is what he did. He decided to go into this relationship, not based on everything that Jasmine said, but everything that he also knew. So I'm just trying to dispel the rumor and help Gino out. That Gino, while I am not on Jasmine's side, there are some facts that you are absolutely forgetting. And I just can't let you forget it, sweetie pie. Are we in season 9 or season 10? Do I have to go back and change all of these? Let me see what season we in. Lord Jesus. Hold on, y'all. I think I got this on here wrong. I think it's supposed to be season 10. Just be patient with me, y'all. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm so exhausted. My week has just started and I'm exhausted. No, we're in season 9. Okay. So Gino, we're still on the premise that Gino said that Jasmine tricked him into this. Gino said, I love you. Jasmine said, I love you, Gino, but I don't feel wanted. You never touch me and you don't initiate sex. I feel like a roommate, not a fiance. Now, these conversations between Gino and Jasmine started before they even got married. She said, maybe if you don't allow to get it somewhere else. Now, mind you, I just told you that these conversations started while Jasmine was a fiance. In another episode, Jasmine said, but how is it fair to expect me to stay loyal when I'm not being satisfied? You're not giving me what I need. I'm being honest with you. Jasmine framed it not as cheating, but as a solution to their sexual incompatibility. She was trying to argue that it could save their relationship. Now, at first, Gino was completely against the idea, but after Jasmine repeatedly argued this, and threatened, and he knew that it was threatening the relationship, he gave a vague, half-hearted answer. If this is the only way to keep you happy, I guess I have to consider it, but I don't like it. He also said, I don't know, Jasmine, I'm not comfortable with it. I feel like I'd be losing you. So we see that he never truly agreed, but he passively allowed the conversation to continue without drawing a firm boundary, which Jasmine interpreted as an open motherfucking door. Gino considered it at this time because he was desperate to keep Jasmine from leaving. He was emotionally exhausted from the constant fights, felt manipulated, but wasn't assertive enough to shut the conversation completely down. And Jasmine made it seem like she was going to cheat either way, but an open relationship would at least be honest. Gino eventually backtracked. Now he's backtracking, reiterating that he was not okay with this. Jasmine tested Gino's boundaries and threatened consequences. Now, during a December 23rd, 2024 episode of 90 Day Fiancé, The Last Resort, Jasmine raised the idea of opening their marriage. It came amid simmering tensions over their lack of intimacy and emotional disconnection. Now, when we saw them at marriage boot camp, we saw from camera footage that Gino was not interested in Jasmine at all. Period, point blank, poo. He wasn't interested in her. I mean, she was basically, in some ways, in my opinion, trying to force herself. And Gino was not receptive to it at all. Period, point blank, y'all. He wasn't receptive. And so, because he wasn't receptive and he wanted a way out, because at this point, Gino could have divorced her. If he didn't love her, if he didn't want to be with her, and and be intimate with her, he could have divorced Jasmine. He didn't have to go along with this. Now that he has Natalie, okay, now he wants to force it because Natalie is forcing it. But I believe you see in the upcoming episodes that Gino is going to backpedal and booty pop off of this. The moment followed, the moment on December 23rd of 2004, that followed issues, including reportedly no intimacy for 9 months after their June 2023 wedding. Jasmine told Gino she felt unloved and unsupported, framing the open marriage as a potential solution to save the relationship. And then on social media, Gino later claimed Jasmine tricked him and already had Matt in mind when she proposed the arrangement. She had already had a relationship with Matt, so it was easier that way. I wanted to know, and I wanted to go back and look and see when they were in marriage boot camp and Gino was going along with this mess, who in the cast was against it? Who in the cast was against this? Who tried repeatedly to talk Gino out of this open relationship? Because at one point, Gino became adamant that he was going to do this. Very good, Veronica. Rob was one. Shanika, is it Shanika? Said all of them. Veronica said Josh. Kate, 37, said the men. LA film scene said all the guys. Let me give you some direct quotes. Rob openly challenged Jasmine's justification for the open marriage during group conversations. If I can hold on to 9 months without needing to somebody, I think you could too. He was skeptical that the arrangement was truly healthy for the marriage, sparking a heated response from Jasmine. At the tell all, Rob accused Jasmine of orchestrating the arrangement to be with Matt wife, which triggered Jasmine to throw her heels at him. Josh, a friend of Gino, reportedly warned him directly that he had been played by Jasmine, indicating she manipulated the situation for her own purposes. Gino listened, but ultimately still agreed to the arrangement. Florian, though he was less vocal on camera, he expressed his concerns during Between the Sheets. He indicated discomfort with the plan and doubted its motives, even as a counsel of sorts to Gino's side. The therapists and retreat facilitators at the last report appeared to have encouraged it or enabled the idea. Some Redditors suggest that many cast members and viewers believe that counselors were more aligned with supporting Jasmine's agenda than safeguarding marital stability. The way someone said, the way these counselors are pushing for him to open up their marriage is absolutely disgusting. All of the other participants see how fucked up this situation is and are supportive of Gino. Someone else wrote, the therapist in a poly relationship was completely against this open marriage from the start, recognizing it was driven by unhealthy motives. So if we want to summarize it, Rob challenged it directly. Josh warned Gino he was being played. Florian voiced that he was skeptical about this. Their counselors encouraged or eased Jasmine's push rather than discouraging her. And concern rose from the other cast members. Florian took and said things off camera. Meanwhile, retreat-based facilitators and therapists were perceived by many cast members to have supported rather than opposed Jasmine's proposal. It was a source of frustration among them, who was sympathetic to Gino. Rob also said he also warned Gino that agreeing to an open marriage would backfire. The fans even said Rob was definitely right when he told Gino that Jasmine was going to be out the house with Matt on night one. In the lead up to the recommitment ceremony, Rob, joined by Florian, urged Gino to reconsider, prompting Gino to briefly declare Matt out. Josh publicly supported Gino and criticized Jasmine. So now Gino comes on the episode and says that Jasmine tricked him. Bitch, if you don't go somewhere and sit down, he was warned by everybody that cared anything for him that this was a setup. This show was in December. Keep up with the dates. Gino said he had proof since December, so he already knew. So now he wants to come out and be brand new. Now, I know that this was filmed some months ago, but Gino, you knew when you went to the retreat. And now he wants to sit up in the Goodwill. He gets a call from Natalie. This thing is making me look like I got, y'all see how it's glowing under me? Excuse me, y'all. Hold on. Let me make some adjustments here. Here's the thing. Gino is in a thrift store and Natalie calls. He takes the calls. He's buying some shirts and some hats. So he tries on a couple of hats for her and everything, and she's just giggling. But ultimately, she wants to know, where's Jasmine at? Now, mind you, when Matt picked Jasmine up from sitting at the park in the parking lot on the divided lines, Matt said he's glad that this happened because he was like, she need to see him. Jasmine's riding in the car and saying he really doesn't care anything about me. Absolutely, he does not. Matt is happy because he is falling in love with Jasmine. And usually that's what happens when you are hanging around someone and living in their home and fucking them. Doesn't mean that Matt is going to stay happy. Doesn't mean that Matt is happy now. Because he has made no moves to marry Jasmine, whether she got a baby by him or not. But Gino wants to get up in the bed. Now, I understand from a commenter in my comment section that Gino has already moved on to another woman. He's already moved on. He's not fully committed to anybody. He never was fully committed to Jasmine because if he was, he would have her. And that's on period. So now he's grinning and she's like, okay, enough of that grinning and playing games. Where's Jasmine? What happened with Jasmine? So he tells her that he took Jasmine her things. He didn't say he put her out on the park and on the street in the park. Notice that? Gino never said that. Never. Gino's a crud bucket. He wants to be with Natalie, but I'm sure that he'll get bored of her as well. She is playing the game and getting her skin in the game by being on television. I think that this woman absolutely had a motive. I think that she knew exactly who Gino was. But if Gino gets fucked out of this, I don't care. And that's where I stand with that. That's exactly where I stand with that. But I have a feeling that before things is through, that Gino's going to come back begging Jasmine to be with him. He can't say that she tricked him because he knew the whole time. And even if he was being tricked, the people around him were not. And they were advising Gino the whole time. Y'all let me know downtown in the comments section. Let's continue the conversation there. Y'all let me know. Was Gino tricked or no? Did he go into this willingly? Let me know. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.